Good evening, everybody. Apologies on the delay from this. I was in the office filming for y'all today. But wanted to go ahead and get y'all this market update out. Sorry, no camera either. Like I said, I was filming for y'all, so it's all packed up and charging and all that good stuff. But I definitely wanted to make sure to get y'all these weekly market stats. Real quick, weather today was a meh kind of day out today. It was cloudy. I think that this was about as hot as it got today. Maybe it got up to 85 today. Like I said, it was kind of a meh kind of day. We've definitely, I think I mentioned it last Monday. Last week was a little bit hotter as compared to the week before. But it looks like we are going to be having a cold front coming in soon. So today and tomorrow are going to be our last 2 days of like really warm weather, and then we're going to be dropping Wednesday a high of 82, Thursday a high of 79, Friday a high of 78. So we're getting into that like really, really, really nice winter weather that we crave here. It's just beautiful, perfect out all day. Probably once Wednesday hits, all the way through the next couple days, I'm going to be leaving my windows open, leaving the house open, all that sorts of fun stuff. Moving along to mortgage rates, we have gone up a slight little bit, up to 6.19 from 6.17. Nothing super noticeable there, though. Nothing to be alarmed about or anything like that, I wouldn't say. Just definitely something we're going to want to keep an eye on for the next couple weeks. We're going to want to see if these bond rates and these mortgage rates continue to drop, or if we're going to start to see a little bit of recovery. As you guys can see, pretty much over the past year, we've been steady trending down. And we definitely hit a low point back in September. Now we're kind of trying to see if we've bottomed or if we're going to continue to make new lows. The bond market, to me, definitely looks like we're going to be making new lows today. There tried to be a little bit of a recovery. The market opened a little bit high, however, pretty much for the most part during the day, we've just seen selling. The market's closed now, so each of these candlesticks, it opened up here and then it closed down here. So pretty much for the most part of the day, this was selling. As we see these drops, more towards this range, we're going to start to see those mortgage rates decrease as well. So any of y'all getting financing, that is a very key thing to watch. Again, these bond rates are relative to those mortgage rates. As we continue to see these drop, the mortgage rates are going to go down as well. Moving along to our regular stats for the week. So this is actually interesting. For the last 3 weeks, we've seen a pretty big bump in median sales price. So ever since October 4th, we had a pretty big jump up from 341,000 up to 371,000. Then we had 360. Then another week at 370. That was just last week. However, this last week we're down to 337. So this is down 12% compared to this time last year, which is definitely, can be a little bit concerning. This is definitely something we're going to want to watch over the next couple weeks. This should be our really in season time. As you guys can see on the left of the screen, last year we had a drop at the beginning of October, and then pretty much through November. We do get a drop in December during like exactly at Christmas time, and then it picks back up a little bit towards the end of the year. But we're definitely going to want to watch this to see, if we're still seeing those higher end snowbird buyers, or if we're starting to transition back towards more regular buyers. Definitely should be the snowbird market. So like I said, that's definitely something we're going to want to watch over the next couple weeks. Closed sales, this one's definitely a little bit concerning here as well. So the closed sales have continued to drop. We've only seen 157 sales closed last week as opposed to 185 the week before and 197 before that. Part of the concerning part for me is the fact that the pendings have been continuing to go up, which I'm going to show you guys in a minute, meaning that how homes are going under contract, but they're not closing. So whether we're seeing a lot of investors, wholesalers, that kind of thing, that's not actually able to close the deal, or if we're seeing, just super like weary buyers and they're backing out of contracts and things like that after entering. Sold price per square feet, this has gotten a drop as well. So this is, kind of following that median sales price. This one didn't see as big of a drop down though. So price per square foot has remained relatively decent. It's down to 208 from 218, so definitely a substantial drop there, but it's nothing as big as that other one. Percent of list price received, this is actually an interesting one. So we're starting to go up, which is indicating to me that sellers are starting to price more in line with the current market value. So this is showing that about you're going to receive 96% of listing price. So on average, you're giving about a 4% discount. Percent of original price received, this is basically going to be the percentage of the original price before any price reductions. So the listing price is the currently listed price. The original price is the price that it started at. This is up as well. So again, definitely showing me that new sellers entering the markets are starting to price well from the start. Percentage of cash sales, this has gone down a little bit as well. So as we've seen the last couple weeks, that was going up. That was probably relative with those higher end sales taking place. Snowbirds, cash sales, luxury sales, and having this drop a tiny bit is, a little bit relative with that median sales price. Potentially the last week was more financing buyers, regular homes, those type of things, but these are definitely something that we're going to want to keep an eye on here in the future. Days in escrow, that's remained pretty steady. So this is how many days between when a house goes pending to when it closes. New listings, let's check this out. We've got 393 new listings, so slightly down from last week. So this is definitely, we've been kind of just holding steady on new listings and solds and pending properties. It definitely seems to be favoring the buyers a little bit, but for the most part, everything's been kind of steady. So we really want to see, over the next couple weeks, which way we're going to break. Days on market for pending properties. So in order to get a pending sale, your average day on market is 45. That's way down though. So that definitely, can indicate a more healthy market. This being way down with that list price received being tighter definitely shows, sellers are pricing closer from the beginning and they're not having to chase the market down and sit on the market for an extended period of time being overpriced. New pending sales is basically the same as last week. Again, though, with the sold sales, we're definitely going to want to watch this. The closed sales being down is concerning with the pending sales being up. But for the most part, these pending, sold, and new listings have been remaining relatively steady over the last couple weeks. So we're going to look for a break in one direction or the other. Supply of inventory, we're definitely up again, even from last week of 36.8%. So again, even though these houses, we're seeing some houses go pending, we're seeing, steady new listings, we're seeing, a slight drop in sold properties. So if less properties are actually selling, doesn't matter that they went pending, it doesn't matter that the listings are remaining relative, that supply of inventory is going to keep going up. The absorption rate here, this is basically the inverse of that supply of inventory. This is basically just your odds to sell every single week. Pending inventory, this is going up. So again, this is something that we're going to want to keep an eye on because the pending inventory continues to go up, but our closed sales aren't showing for it. So for whatever the reason, this could be, people with extended closing timelines. Maybe they're trying to close in 60, 90 days to sell their house up north, long, contingency periods, or it could also be, like I said, just deals fizzling out, wholesalers, buyers being a little bit more cautious and weary. But whatever the case is, this is definitely, something to keep an eye on. The pending inventory continues to go up, but we haven't seen it reflected in the sales, at least over the last couple weeks. So that's really where we're at this week. We want to continue to, keep track of these pendings to see if they're going to convert into sold sales. And that way, we can get a really good read on the market. If you're a seller right now, your inventory, the new listings are remaining relatively the same as it was. We are seeing pending sales go up. However, again, those aren't actually closing 100% of the time, at least so far. So still going to want to price right